we can start. Uh, Ma'am, we have made an Excel for the masterpiece of the requirement of all US university.
Okay.
So I have a specific questions for you. So if you
Mm-hmm.
don't mind, I'll first ask those questions and
Okay,
then
sure.
you can start your PPT and give us all the brief information about your.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, ma'am, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, yes, it is.
So, ma'am, what is your undergraduate TOEFL, IELTS, PT, and Duolingo requirement? And
I'll share with you. So this presentation is majorly what I'm doing right now will be for grad. UG, there's a different presentation, but overall we prefer, I think TOEFL would be 75 and above for UG.
okay,
IELTS, it's preferred to have 6.5.
okay,
PT would be 50, yeah. And Duolingo is 105 and above.
okay. And ma'am, what about graduate?
Okay, so for graduate, how it works is only for engineering, I think it's around 75 and above. But if we have students for other programs, right, for business programs and other colleges, then it would be 80 and above. So only engineering would be 75, other colleges 80. IELTS, again, engineering is 6.0
Okay,
and other programs would be 6.5.
okay, ma'am. PT
PT is the same 50. And Duolingo is 105 and above.
for all programs.
Yes. So
Okay,
GRE GMAT is waived currently, so that's not required. If the students have given, then definitely you can include that in the application, but it's not mandatory. SAT is again optional depending on the student, so that's not mandatory again. 12 plus 3, yes, we do accept 12 plus 3, but in this case, you'll have to look at the NAC rating of the college. So the college has to be NAC A. If it's a NAC B or anything above below NAC A, then WES will be required.
तो मैम वेस्ट कराने का कोई मतलब तो है नहीं क्योंकि वेस्ट वाले भी नेक ए ग्रेड नहीं होगा तो वो 12+4 इक्विवेलेंट तो देंगे ही नहीं.
Yeah, but sometimes the students do get WES, at least, they'll get an admit based on the WES.
अच्छा, okay. Ma'am, backlogs?
Backlogs, see, it depends, program to program wise. If you're looking for specifically computer science, data science, it's 2.
Okay.
Yeah, other programs, I think we are still flexible up to maybe 10. You can look at, not more than that.
Ma'am, percentage
Percentage minimum is 75% and above.
for UG?
Yes, for both grad and UG, both 75%.
Okay, so ma'am, in Gujarat, like we mostly get CGPA. So can we consider like 8 CGPA or 7 CGPA?
Yeah, I think 7 and above should be fine.
Okay, ma'am, your application is waiver, right?
Waived, yes. So that's waived both for grad and UG. Tuition for UG is bit on the higher side, so that would also be around $47,000 annually.
Okay, and ma'am, PG?
PG is 31,650.
Okay, ma'am, what is the I-20 amount that you need?
I-20, I think for UG, it's around $67,000. I'll just share both the presentations also with you. For grad, it's around 32, I think. 32 or 33. I'll share in the presentation.
Sorry, ma'am, I missed the part. How much I-20
I
amount?
think it's around 30. You can look at 33,000.
So, ma'am, fees is 31 and still you need 33,000 state
So
banks.
this is just the bank statement, yeah, showing that the student can take care of himself, for that 1 year.
Okay, ma'am, any deposit amount that you require?
Deposit right now it's around $2,000. So that's final once the student, the visa is approved. So that's at the very end. So
So
it's the
for
same.
UG, PG, both same
Yes.
$1,000. Okay. And ma'am, this 2000 will be adjusted to the fees.
Against the tuition, yes, right. But this is non-refundable.
Ma'am, this $31,000 UG, PG fees is for whole 2 years?
2 years. Yes, it's for 2 years.
No, so I only need 1 year tuition fee. So it will be approximately what, $17,000?
Right, yeah.
Okay. And ma'am, any scholarship criteria or type?
Scholarship completely based on merit.
Okay, ma'am.
So that's majorly based on GPA anyways and the entire academics.
Yeah, ma'am, thank you. That's it from my side. So my basic questions are clear. Ma'am, you can share the presentation and you can guide us further. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, are you able to view the screen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you first of all everyone for taking time out and joining this session. I'm not sure if you guys had a session before with University of New Haven, but yeah, so we'll run through quickly our admission requirements. So a lot of changes have been happening, a lot of new programs also have been launched. And as I mentioned, like every program has a different criteria. If you're looking at GPA, backlogs, some program are flexible with a lot of backlogs, some will be only 2 to 3. So I'll explain you all that because a lot of changes have been happening since the few intakes. So just to start off with basically history and reputation about the university. To start off, we are firstly a private university located in the state of Connecticut. So it's right in the northeast. We are almost 103 years old now. When you are talking to prospective students, one of our strongest USPs is definitely, which you should talk about, is our location. We are very close to New York and Boston, where the Indian community is very strong with regards to even the job opportunities or even the housing. So those are our strongest selling points. I would say roughly 90 minutes drive to New York and 2.5 hours drive to Boston from our main campus. We are very popular for our engineering and business programs. So we get a lot of inquiries, especially for computer science programs, data science, mechanical, civil, and those. So those are highly ranked. Again, business programs, business analytics, MBA, marketing, supply chain. These are also very popular. Our College of Business is AACSB accredited. So that accreditation also helps a lot students, with regards to the job opportunities once they graduate. We also offer programs in criminal justice, forensic science, and the best thing that you'll see moving forward in the presentation is a lot of our programs are STEM. So not just engineering, even if you want to get into an MBA, many programs that we offer are STEM accredited. Our MPH program is STEM. So there's a lot of options for students specifically because US, if you're looking at, nobody wants to go to a non-STEM program, right? Everyone wants to get into a STEM program. So we have a lot of options when it comes to STEM specifically. And most importantly, our Career Development Center, which is known like a placement cell here in India, is ranked 17th in the country. So I'll talk briefly about it as we move forward. So to talk about the university in general, we do offer grad as well as UG programs, but this presentation is more specific towards grads because that's what we are majorly currently looking at. UG, I'll share a different presentation post the call. So this will be more focused on the grad. So these are some old statistics that we have right now in the presentation. We are looking to get it updated right now. So we represent almost 44 US states and 66 countries. So you'll find students coming from a lot of other Southeast Asian countries also. So students coming in from Nepal, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Vietnam, and so on as well. So it's quite multicultural like that. With regards to colleges, so these are all the other colleges that we have, in the main campus. So if you have any students who are looking specifically for a business program, for an MBA program, they will be at a different campus because the main campus only hosts program for engineering, arts, science, criminal justice. If you have students for business college, they will be at a different campus, which is just a 10-minute ride from the main campus. So you'll see that in the I-20, the address will be different for students who are going for business programs. programs. As I mentioned earlier, with regards to STEM, we have a lot of options to choose from, and every semester also we keep on adding additional programs. So as of now, we have almost 26 STEM options, STEM programs for the students to choose from. With regards to the faculty, our class sizes are pretty small, so 16:1 is the standard student to faculty ratio. So that really helps the students, with regards to build a better network with the faculty. When you are in a smaller class size, it's easier to connect, if you have any doubts with regards to internships. So we make sure that although more students are coming in every semester, we stick to our smaller class sizes. Moving on to our campuses. So this is how our campus looks like. As I mentioned, this is the first picture is the main Maxi Hall where we have all other colleges being hosted. And the second picture is of the College of Business, which is Pompeii College of Business, which is a 10 minutes ride from the main campus. Recognitions, as I already spoke about, students are always keen to understand, what is the university ranking, what is the QS ranking. That's what I always get asked for when I'm at a fair. So you can definitely talk about these accreditations, Career Development Center being ranked 17th in the country, our College of Business, Pompeii College of Business being AACSB accredited, and so on. Okay, moving on to a career development center. I'm not sure how much you are aware of this, but this is something definitely that you should be talking about to a prospective student who is shortlisting UNH. So just like how in India we have a placement cell which helps the students with regards to internship, job opportunities, we have a career development center which is right in the heart of the campus, wherein the students can always reach out to with regards to job opportunities. So say they want to do an internship in a specific company, they can always reach out to the career development center. So the career development center provides them with all the access, like shortlisting the companies nearby, making changes in their resume, cover letter. So all that assistance is provided by the university as such. So we are making them job ready with regards to the market, helping them crack the interviews, mock sessions. So all that assistance is provided by the university. Again, this is completely free of charge. The students don't have to pay anything with regards to getting a service from the career development center. We also host a lot of recruitment fairs on campus. So you can find the list of companies which are displayed here. So these do visit a campus where in the past alumni has been placed, and the students all of course have access to these fairs. So once they are notified with the career development center, they can keep getting the updates, like this fair is happening. If you're in an engineering college, so engineering fair is happening on this day, or a business fair is happening on this day. So they keep notified, and they don't miss out on any opportunities. So definitely talk to the students with regards to the career development center, and of course you can find all these details on the website as well. Next, moving on to the facilities. So there's on-campus housing also, which is available. Again, it's not mandatory for students to live on campus. It's completely their choice. For UG, however, we do prefer, because they're pretty young once they come there. So once they become familiar with the environment, they can always move out. But it's still advisable to at least stay for the first semester, or best in case 1 year, the first year on campus. And once they make friends or have families close by, they can always move out. However, for grad, we see most of them prefer staying off campus, like in a group of 3 to 4. So that's completely their choice. Apart from that, we also have various other facilities on campus. So there are various gyms, almost I would say 150 plus clubs that the students can join for recreation and other activities. Next is moving on to our Bergami Center for Science, Technology and Innovation. So this is specifically again, for students who want to get into research and development. Again, it doesn't depend on which specific college the student is from, because once you are an enrolled student at the university, you have access to the complete infrastructure. Okay, moving on to a most important slide, admission requirements. Now, this is very important. This is the basic checklist that as a counselor, you have to check that the student has all these documents uploaded on the website so that the application can be reviewed. Most of the times, we get mails that the application is complete, and, we have been waiting. Why is there no decision? Because sometimes, mostly I've seen there's a lot of confusion with the letter of recommendation. Maybe just one letter has come, the second is pending. training, or absolutely both the letters have not come. So if we have not received any of these documents, the application will not move to the next step. It will remain stuck until the document is received. So please ensure once you submit an application, all of the documents are present on the portal so that the application can be reviewed. Because if the application is incomplete, then faculty cannot review an incomplete application and it will just remain stuck. So as I mentioned, our application fee is waived. There is no code or anything. Once you submit the application, it gets waived automatically in the next 24 hours. You need to have the application form filled in completely online. Transcripts, again, it's very important to have the semester wise mark sheets. We are not accepting consolidated mark sheets. It has to be semester wise. So right from the first semester until the end of the program, we need to have all the semester wise mark sheets. Most of the colleges these days do provide the semester wise mark sheets, but we have seen for certain colleges who provide the consolidated ones. So that just a handful of colleges which provide consolidated. In case if you have a student whose college does not provide a semester wise and he can only get a consolidated, then in that case you need to get a letter from the student on the letterhead of the college stating that my college cannot provide a semester wise and consolidated is what I can get from my college. So you need to submit that and we will consider it as a special case. But we usually prefer students with semester-wise detailed mark sheet because we want to understand how the student has been faring each semester. So that's what is preferred. With regards to our English test scores, we do accept all of these. Again, I'll go much more in detail because we have different requirements for different programs. So there's not a standard score that we look at. It will differ depending on which program the student wants to go for. GRE and GMAT, again, completely optional. It was waived for spring and most likely for fall also it would be waived. If there are any changes, I'll let you know. But as of now, it is waived. Again, it's completely optional on the students because we have seen a lot of students who have gone and given the exams and got a really good score. So if you have students like these who have got a good score in GRE and GMAT and would like to submit in their application, definitely you can go ahead and submit those scores. We'll be happy to consider those. Apart from that, 2 letters of recommendation, as I mentioned, is what we look at. So again, it can be a mix of, from the faculty, or if the student has been working, it can be from from his manager as well. So you can do it. As far as we have 2 LORs on the portal, that should be fine. And SOP, again, one of the most important documents. Please ensure the student is writing the SOP by itself. Definitely as a counselor, you can proofread it, but it has to be by the student and it shouldn't be a copy paste, right? It has to be written by it. Why the student wants to do a specific program at a university, how the program is going to help him in the long term, and why at a university. So SOP really plays an important role, specifically if they are applying for a computer science or a data science or a business program, or even MPH for that matter. For specific programs, the faculty really wants to look at an SOP because I've seen cases in the past where the profile was really good, but the SOP was just a random, Google paste, and then the entire application was rejected because faculty thought that the SOP was not up to the mark. So SOP is something which is very important for specific programs, and it really has to be up to the point. Lastly is the resume. So once we have all these documents on the portal for review, our turnaround time is currently around 4 to 7 weeks. So once we have all these documents, it will take around 4 to 7 weeks to get back to you with a decision. So please ensure all these documents are uploaded on the portal for review. So we have 2 intakes as of now, fall and spring. So we are very close to a spring. So I wouldn't really recommend you, if you have any students who come in a day or 2 and want to apply for spring, it's really late now because it would really, as I mentioned, our turnaround time is 4 to 7 weeks. So it's very difficult to get a decision, and the window is also very small for visa. So if you have any students, you can definitely push them for a fall intake. We have already started accepting applications for fall. It would be until 1st May. So I would encourage you, if you have any students who want to apply for spring, please request them to apply for fall, because spring would be very difficult to get a decision on I-20 right now, because we're already on 3rd of November today and our deadline is 15th. So these are the deadlines that we have, and you can see below listed there are a few programs which have only fall specific. That means they were not available for this spring, so they have to apply for this upcoming fall. So there are just a handful of those, forensic science, forensic technology, clinical mental health, and so on, which are only available for fall. Coming to our tuition, so our tuition is very affordable. If you look at, it's roughly around charge per credit. So our credit charge is 1,055, and most of our programs, at least the engineering ones, they are all 30 credits. So they come to around 31,650 for 2 years, which I think is very affordable, considering the kind of education and opportunities that they get. With regards to the living expenses, again, so this is a very rough estimate that we look at is $15,000 annually. Again, this is considering the students are living off campus on a sharing basis. It works out to roughly $1,000 a month. On an average would be $15,000 for 1 year. For 2 years would be $30,000. For the I-20, the amount was 37. Sorry if I gave the wrong amount earlier. It's $37,000. So we look at a lot of documents when it comes to I-20. The most preferred is, of course, the bank sanction loan letter. It has to be right on the letterhead of the bank. It has to be authentic one with the sign and stamp of the bank manager. That's the first document that we look at for students who are going for a loan. Otherwise, we look at parents' fixed deposits, saving deposits. All of those documents are okay, as far as they meet up the amount of $37,000 and above. So this is just the amount which the student has to show with regards to the I-20. Our turnaround time is pretty fast when it comes to I-20. Once we have all the financials submitted to us on the portal, we roughly take around 2 weeks to get back to the student with an I-20. So that's pretty fast as such. Moving on to our scholarships. So we do offer scholarships. Not now, there's a myth that every student who applies gets a scholarship, but it's not really like that, because we definitely focus on the GPA and the entire profile. Specifically, if you're applying for an engineering program, the major factor for scholarship is definitely the GPA. The history of backlogs is what we look at. So the total backlogs, as I mentioned, is what we take into consideration. Then again, there is the work experience, internship, English scores. All of these factors are taken into consideration, and based on this, a student can expect anywhere between 10 to 50%. So 50% is pretty rare, unless a student has had a really good profile, say 85% and above, that's when he would get a 50% scholarship. But the most common is anywhere between 10 to 30%. I've seen a lot of students getting a 10%, 30% scholarship. So that's very common as such. We do have a second category as well, which is a provost assistantship. Now, this is a 75% tuition waiver. So definitely someone with a 90% and above would get a 75% scholarship. So this is like very extraordinary profile a student has to have in order to get a 75% scholarship. You can definitely see your students anywhere between in the first category, which is the Dean Scholarship. Now, this is completely based on merit. So if a student does not receive any of these, we cannot do, unfortunately, much. He can only apply to on-campus jobs once he is on campus. Please note, the students have to receive the scholarship here right in India before flying to the US. Students cannot get a scholarship once they are on campus. We get a lot of mails that, will I get a scholarship after I receive campus if I really get good marks in my first semester? But no, scholarship has to be from here, right from India, before flying to the US. You cannot get a scholarship once you are enrolled in the program, because your scholarship is dependent on your past marks. That is what you have studied before joining UNH. Also, it's very important to brief the students about the scholarship that they have to maintain a GPA of 3.2 and above every semester in order to keep the scholarship intact. So make sure that the students are having that GPA, and their GPA shouldn't drop, or if they're not able to focus on any such issues, then in that case, the scholarship might be taken back from them. So they really have to ensure that they maintain your GPA once they are enrolled with us at the university. Moving on to our test score requirements. So we have different test score requirements for different colleges. Like I said, for TOEFL, if you look at College of Engineering, the IELTS would be minimum 6.0 is what we look at. However, other programs, like if you're looking at a business program, or maybe you're looking at a health science program, your IELTS has to be 6.5 and above. Duolingo remains the same, 105. So these are the standard benchmarks that we have for each colleges. We of course prefer our students to get above above than this, right? If a Duolingo score requirement is 105, I would prefer a student to have a 110 at least or a 115. So the students ideally have to have scores above the marks that we have mentioned here. Because if you have a student who says applies with a Duolingo score of 100 for an engineering program, the application won't be considered again because the requirement is not met. So the students have to meet our English requirements in order for the application to be processed. So just make sure that they are meeting our requirements when you're submitting the applications. Okay, this is specific to students coming from a 3 years college. As I mentioned earlier, we accept students coming from a 3 years degree. Again, it's very important that the student has to be from a NACA college, because NACA college is what we prefer specifically for a 3 years degree. Most of the colleges right now in India are, of course, NACA, but there are a handful still who are NAC B. Specifically, you would require a VES evaluation in that case if you have a student coming from a NAC B college, because then the application will be rejected. So VES is the only option for students coming from a NAC B college. And with regards to mark sheets, transcripts, as I mentioned earlier, we require a semester-wise mark sheets in order for the faculty to review the application. So please ensure that you are uploading semester-wise mark sheets on the portal and not the consolidated ones. Okay, starting with the first college now, Tagliatella College of Engineering. So this is the college which offers all our engineering programs. Now all of these programs are STEM, all of them are standard, a full-time 2 years program. We are very popular for our computer science and data science. So they are the most competitive programs right now that we have, for which we receive tons and tons of applications. So first thing which you have to look at is definitely the GPA, especially for a CS and DS program. GPA strictly has to be 3.0 and above on a scale of 4. So that's 75% and above. Anyone lower than that will straight away get rejected. So look at the GPA first. Second thing is, of course, backlogs has to be 2 to 3 is what we are looking at. Again, if it's above that, it will get rejected. So right now, data science and computer science are the most competitive programs, and this is what we majorly look at. If it's not meeting a requirement, it will straight away get rejected. However, if you have students who have had, say, a lower GPA or 2.8 or a 2.9 and maybe up to 7, 8 backlogs, you can definitely recommend other programs for them. If a student wouldn't get into a computer science, I recommend the second best option is a cyber security program, or you can also look at information science. So that's a good option to recommend someone who couldn't get into a computer science program. If you have students coming from civil, we recently launched construction management program. So that's also a STEM program. That is something that you can recommend, that it's also pretty flexible. If you have students up to 10 backlogs, it would still accept that. And yes, then there are other options also that you can look at. There's mechanical, industrial. So these are very flexible when it comes to backlogs and lower GPA. Engineering and operations. So that's also a mix of engineering as well as students coming from the management background can get into this program. But just be careful specifically for a CS and DS that we won't be accepting more than 2 to 3 backlogs. So that's something that you'll have to be careful when you're applying for those. Next, moving on to our Pompey College of Business. Here again, we have mix of some MBAs and master programs. MBA, so we have right now 4 MBA programs which are STEM. Marketing, digital marketing is a great program. You can definitely push students who want to get into the digital marketing, digital analytics, social media side. This is one great option that they can look at. Again, it's not mandatory for students to have a full-time work experience. Even if students have done an internship, it would still be fine to apply for an MBA program. Just remember, MBA program a bit on the higher side when it comes to tuition, because they're a bit more larger than the masters. So they would be roughly around $46,000 for 2 years, because they're around 44 to 45 credits as compared to a master's program, right? So masters are usually 30 credit programs. So they come to the tuition of 31,650 is the standard, but MBA is a bit on the higher side. So these are the options that we have when it comes to MBA. If you ask for Pompey College of Business specifically, I would say business analytics is doing really great right now. Even students coming from an engineering background, non-engineering, commerce background are opting for business analytics. So that's a great option that you can definitely recommend. We also have a lot of concentrations that the student can pick in a business analytics program. So they can further specialize into a marketing analytics or supply chain. Even hospitality was recently introduced. So if someone wants to get into hospitality side, they can specialize in that. So that's a great option. Business analytics followed by students who want to get into sports, or who want to build a career into the sports industry. Sports management is also a program that you can talk about. Information science was recently launched. So that's also a great option for students who couldn't get into a computer science program. You can definitely talk about information science. It's again a STEM program. So it's a mix of business analytics, computer science, and UX design. You can have a look at the curriculum. Again, it's much more flexible than a computer science program. So if a student has had up to 10 backlogs, they would still be accepted in an information science program. So you can definitely consider that. Students coming from accounting, finance background, we also have programs for those. So a lot of options, almost all the domains we have tried our best to cover when it comes to a College of Business, and we'll be adding in more programs in the coming semesters.
Ma'am, I just wanted to share one thing.
Yeah.
Before 2 days, I met a student.
Hmm.
He basically applied for visa on Rutgers University accounting program
Okay.
because he was doing some CPA classes in Ahmedabad, some consultancy, I don't know. Surprisingly, he said there are few university which is giving waiver to this particular CPA students. So I
Okay.
just wanted, and he's looking for STEM accounting course only. So,
Okay.
so that's why I remember. So I just wanted to know, like, if Rutgers can give waiver to this student, do you have any provision as such for this?
You'll have to send a mail. I'll check with the team and let you know.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have that student with me. I'll just contact him and I'll get it done. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So accounting again, see, when it says like a STEM option, that means the entire program is not STEM. He has to pick a specific concentration which will make it STEM. So he'll have
Oh,
to pick that specific
so
concentration.
he has to take some subjects of data analytics or
No,
something which is
it
related to
has
that.
some concentration which you can go on the website and see. So only when he picks a specific concentration, that's when the program will become STEM.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, you can send a mail and we'll look into the case separately then. Okay, so that was about our College of Business. If you want to understand deeply about the programs, the curriculum, you'll have to visit the website. You'll find all the details there. Next, moving on to our School of Health Sciences. Now, here the most competitive program that we have is public health. Again, if you have students coming from pharmacy, nursing, even a lot of doctors, medical practitioners, dentists also have seen physiotherapy students, all of them you can definitely direct towards public health. This is right now, I would say, the third most competitive program after a computer science and a data science program. English is very important. So just make sure if you have students applying for public health, preferably we prefer an IELTS score of 6.5. Every band to be at least minimum 6.5 is what the faculty looks. If you are having 7.5, then it's great. But English I've seen, especially for a public health program, to be really good. If they are coming with a Duolingo, preferably 120 is the score that we look at for Duolingo. SOP also, again, very important for public health. So public health is also really competitive program. As we are very close to Boston and New York. So definitely a very great opportunity also if they're looking into the health sciences, healthcare background with regards to job opportunities, internship, definitely a highly recommended program from UNH. Nextly, nutrition sciences is also what we had launched last intake. So if you have students coming from the nutrition, dietitian background, you can definitely look at this. This is, however, only a fall specific program. So, we didn't have any spring intake for this. So you can definitely look at this program for the next fall. And MHA again, which goes by the name of Healthcare Administration, Health Informatics. So that's CAMI accredited, one of the few colleges which have got the CAMI accreditation in the Northeast. So this is also a very popular program. It's in the process of being STEM. Right now it is not STEM, but the accreditation is really good, especially for students, like looking out for job opportunities, internships. We are very close to the Yale Hospital also, so that also works a lot in our favor with regards to the job opportunities and where the students get placed. So we have a few of options that you can definitely recommend if you have any students from the health sciences background. Next, moving on to a College of Arts and Sciences. Here again, you can see a lot of STEM options that the students can choose from. I'll start with cellular and molecular biology. Again, this is a great program coming with a thesis, non-thesis option. Students coming from different backgrounds are opting for this. Even biotech students coming from that background, geology and all of those. That's a great option that you can recommend. Environmental science, again, recently I've seen a lot of students coming from the agricultural background opting for this. So that is one program that you can recommend too. Post-COVID, also a lot of students have developed a keen interest, when it comes to mental health, healthcare counseling, and so on. So we have two options here, industrial organizational psychology, community psychology. Industrial organizational psychology right now is a STEM program, so it also comes with a lot of concentration. So regardless of whichever concentration the student picks, the program is going to be STEM. So that is also one you can look at. Just remember, psychology programs and the health counseling are a bit again on the longer side when it comes to the tuition, because they are roughly 40-45 credits. So they are going to be longer and a bit more on the expensive side as compared to the other masters. But we do have all these options, especially if you're looking for anything into mental health, counseling, or psychology as such. Again, English has to be really good for these programs. So we would prefer an IELTS of 6.5 and above, Duolingo 120 and so. Last, moving on to Henry Lee College of Criminal Justice and Forensic Science. Here, there are only two options. If you have any students who are keen to get into forensic science and forensic technology, you can definitely recommend these programs. Please note, both the programs require a GRE. So GRE is really mandatory for these programs, and there won't be a waiver as such. Next, we have the alumni career. So these are where all the students usually get placed. Hello, yes?
Yeah, ma'am, can you go to the previous slide?
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, just wanted to ask, like, PhD criminal justice is what, commissionable?
As in what?
It is commissionable program, right? We'll get commission if we
Yeah,
clear.
for any program. Once you have the student enroll any program, if they get an acceptance, then yes, definitely.
Ma'am, even PhD also?
Yes. All
Okay.
the programs.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
just wanted to ask, like, for PhD, the student need to get the supervisor approval, right? Without supervisor
You got
approval,
stuck.
we cannot. Yeah.
Sorry?
Without supervisor approval, we cannot apply to criminals. I mean, any PhD program, right?
Yes, you will require that.
Okay. And ma'am, generally, which students are the target audience for this program? Can LLB students apply for this criminal justice?
LLB, they can, provided there has to be some inclination. Maybe they have done some additional degrees or any kind of work experience. It has to relate in somewhere. There has to be some alignment when you submit an application, because in the SOP, they'll have to mention that.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so the alumni careers I was talking about earlier, you can also find a much more exhaustive list on the website as well. Sample list of employers, international student experience. So as I mentioned, 150 plus clubs which are available on the campus. There's Indian Student Council and various other regional clubs as well, where the students can network further and build more connections. You can also have a 360 virtual campus tour on the website, so the students know exactly how the campus looks like and what all are our offerings. Now, these are some major points. Do you guys have any questions with regards to the partner code, agent code? I'm sure you're including that in your every application, because whenever you submit any application, be it for a PhD or for a UG or a grad, it has to have your agent code. So there's the same agent code which goes for grad admissions and for UG. Please ensure you have your agent code, because that's how you can later on raise an invoice for the commission. If in any case you forget, you can immediately write to me on the same date requesting to fill, because I think once you submit an application, you cannot go back and include the agent code. You'll have to reach out to us. Please note, we can only we can only tag you until the decision is out. Okay. Once the decision is out, we cannot tag you. So you have that 4 to 7 weeks of window between which you can reach out to the university if you have missed on including your agent code or tagging any application. Once the decision is out, if the student has got an admit or an I-20, we cannot tag you under your agency. So please reach out to us on the same day in case you miss anything. Next, all are the basic checklist. As a counselor, you'll have to ensure that all the documents are there on the portal. And as I mentioned, our current turnaround time is 4 to 7 weeks for a decision. And for the I-20, we are roughly looking at 2 weeks time once, we have all the financials and we'll verify it at our end, and the student can get the I-20 in a 2 days time. It can 2 weeks time. Sometimes they can also receive it in 10 days. So it's pretty fast that way. With regards to tagging, I hope you have the agent portal to tag with you. If not, I'll share it again. So you have your own login ID through which you can keep tracking every application and see if they have got a decision, if it's under review or whatever is the status.
मैम
I'll share.
ये
Yes.
नहीं है हमारे पास पार्ट. डू वी हैव दिस एजेंट पोर्टल?
No, ma'am.
नहीं है मैम.
How do you track the applications?
मैम हम तो ट्रैक ही नहीं कर पाते. हमें अगर कोई भी स्टूडेंट का स्टेटस पूछना है, मैं तो इंडिविजुअल आपको ईमेल करती हूँ ऐसे.
अच्छा, तो आपने कभी अपने एंड से ट्रैक ही नहीं किया कोई
नहीं मैम,
स्टूडेंट?
नहीं नहीं.
Okay. So I'll share this with you. So this will be of great help whenever you're submitting any application. If you have any query, you can always go on the portal and track the status. You'll be able to see if it is accepted, it is rejected, or whatever is the status of the student. Yes, and any more doubts? Now I think I'm done with the presentation.
Okay,
I'll see
और
if you have any doubts.
मैम जैसे ये पोर्टल का तो आपने अभी बताया, हम लोगों को तो पता ही नहीं था कि ऐसा एजेंट पोर्टल है जिसमें हम एक साथ सारी एप्लीकेशन देख पाएंगे. तो इसमें मैम जैसे हमने हमारे एप्लीकेशन करते समय हमारा कोड डाला,
Right.
तभी तो एप्लीकेशन फीस वेवर मिलता है, राइट? तो
See,
हमने वो कोड
I
डाला.
think this was confusion was happening. Application fee in general has been viewed to all the audience. It's
अच्छा, ओके मैम. तो
Yeah.
मैम हमने हमारा कोड डाला, क्या हमें उसका स्क्रीनशॉट लेके एज ए प्रूफ हमारे पास रखना चाहिए,
No,
या
no,
फिर
no.
हमने
Proof
कोड
क्यों
डाला
रखना?
तो वो
अगर आपने कोड
ऑटोमेटिकली आ ही
see,
जाए?
there are 3 things on the portal. You have to put your agency name, your email ID, and code.
अच्छा, ओके.
Okay, so you have to, whenever you're submitting an application, all these 3 things should be there on it.
मैम ये जो
पार्थ, ये अवेयर है
कोड
तू? पार्थ, ये 3 चीजें डालनी है. डू यू नो दैट?
Yes, ma'am.
और यू आर ओनली अवेयर अबाउट द कोड?
No, but I've seen the code on many of your applications. I think most of them do have the code, right? You're always submitting the code.
Yes, ma'am.
पार्थ,
हाँ मैम.
ये तीनों चीज हम डालते हैं? मेरे ख्याल से मैंने एक एप्लीकेशन ये जो करवाई उसमें खाली कोड ही डाला है.
नहीं मैम, उसमें आपने वो भी सिलेक्शन किया ही होगा, उसके बिना एप्लीकेशन ही नहीं जाएगी.
अच्छा, okay.
So if any case also, sometimes if you miss, because if a counselor forgets to put, you can write to me. Just make sure that you're writing to me on the same date that this application was submitted without putting the agent code.
मैम ये एजेंट कोड जो होता है, ये मतलब जैसे कि सबके लिए तो अलग अलग ही नंबर्स होते हैं ना?
Every partner has a different code.
राइट. तो उनके एजेंट कोड से एप्लीकेशंस वेवर होता है. तो ऑनलाइन
नहीं नहीं, रुखसाना,
हाँ.
इनका कहना ऐसा है एप्लीकेशन फीस तो वेवर ही है सभी के लिए इन
So
जनरल.
even if a student applies by himself, वो waive हो जाएगा without your code.
राइट. लेकिन मैम इसमें जैसे कि जब तक हम एजेंसी कोड नहीं डालेंगे तब तक एप्लीकेशन तो सबमिट भी नहीं होगी ना?
नहीं हो जाती है, कितने लोग सबमिट कर देते. सी इट्स अ बॉक्स, वहां पे आपको आपका एजेंसी नेम करना है, ईमेल आईडी करना है, कोड करना है. ये तीनों चीजें होनी चाहिए जब आप सबमिट कर रहे हो.
ओके. और ये डाले बिना भी एप्लीकेशन सबमिट हो जाती है?
हाँ, पर अगर वो स्टूडेंट को कल एडमिट मिल गया, फिर हम उसको आपका कमीशन नहीं दे पाएंगे क्योंकि आपके डिटेल्स नहीं है उस एप्लीकेशन पे. यू कैन नॉट रेज एन इनवॉइस फॉर दैट स्टूडेंट बिकॉज इट डजंट हैव योर एजेंसी डिटेल्स.
पर रुखसाना बेस्ट तरीका क्या है कि ये मैम जो बोल रही है ना पोर्टल, जो हमें अभी तक पता ही नहीं है। एक मिनट शीतल, शीतल कैन यू प्लीज पिक दिस कॉल। या तो मैम जो ये बता रही है ना पोर्टल, इसमें अपने जैसे सारे स्टूडेंट दिख ही जाएंगे। तो हमने अगर हमारा कोड डाला होगा तो वो पोर्टल में आ ही जाएगा, राइट मैम, हमारे वाले पोर्टल में।
सॉरी आई डिडंट गेट योर क्वेश्चन। क्या
मैम जैसे हम अगर एप्लीकेशन के दौरान हमारा कोड डालते हैं, तो एक जो पोर्टल आप बता रहे हो एजेंट पोर्टल, जिसमें हम एक साथ हमारे सारे स्टूडेंट का स्टेटस देख सकते हैं,
राइट
तो उसमें वो स्टूडेंट आ ही जाते हैं,
राइट या
तो इसमें फिर क्या रहेगा कि अगर हमने कोड नहीं डाला या फिर हमने डाला पर नहीं दिख रहा है, तो हमें तुरंत पता चल जाएगा वो पोर्टल से कि ये स्टूडेंट अभी भी हमारे पोर्टल में नहीं आया, और फिर हम
एग्जैक्टली
मैम को
परफेक्ट
बता पाएंगे।
या राइट।
ठीक है मैम, तो आप वो पोर्टल प्लीज हमें दे
हाँ
दीजिए
ठीक है,
वो।
आई शेयर द पोर्टल एंड योर लॉगिन आईडी। तो जस्ट मेक श्योर कि आप जब भी सबमिट कर रहे हो आपका एजेंसी का नाम, ईमेल आईडी जो भी काउंसलर का है, और वो कोड। और अगर आप मिस कर देते हो तो यू शुड राइट टू मी इमीडिएटली ऑन द सेम डेट विद द स्टूडेंट डिटेल्स सो दैट आई कैन टैग इट फ्रॉम माय एंड।
ठीक है मैम। और मैम दूसरा, हम जैसे आपके साथ एक व्हाट्सएप पे ग्रुप बना सकते हैं
हाँ हाँ
हमारी
ठीक
टीम।
है, चलेगा।
ठीक है मैम। ओके रुखसाना, और कुछ था पार्थ?
नहीं, बस
बस
क्लियर है।
खाली इतना मुझे समझ में आया कि अपने ये फॉरेंसिक साइंस के जो प्रोग्राम है इसमें जीआरई चाहिए, इसमें
राइट
कोई वेवर नहीं है, बाकी कोई प्रोग्राम में नहीं चाहिए। और बहुत अच्छे स्टेम प्रोग्राम्स भी है।
राइट
और रिक्वायरमेंट तो मैम ने ऑलरेडी बता ही दी है। दूसरा ये अपने कर सकते हैं कि जैसे ये मेरे एक स्टूडेंट को, मुझे याद है मैम, आज नहीं बहुत साल पहले एक स्टूडेंट को हमारे 75% स्कॉलरशिप मिली थी, और उसके सामने उसके बहुत अच्छे एडमिशन थे, पर फिर भी उसने बिकॉज ऑफ स्कॉलरशिप ही डिसाइडेड टू गो इन यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ न्यू हेवन। तो ये
ओके
डेफिनेटली हम टारगेट कर सकते हैं, राइट,
या
ये अपने प्रमोट कर सकते हैं, राइट।
I think yesterday only someone had written to me for some program to expedite. Even that student has got 50% scholarship. Somebody from your team had written yesterday for Parth, I think some student for environmental engineering or someone had written to
मैम
me.
एनवायरमेंटल के लिए तो ये स्टूडेंट का एडमिशन आ गया, यश नाम था
हाँ,
उसका।
yeah, he's got
यश,
50%. Yes, I just checked
तो
this
मैम
morning.
उसका तो स्कॉलरशिप उसके लेटर में लिख के नहीं आया है मैम।
नहीं, ऑफर लेटर के बाद आता है स्कॉलरशिप, सो इट टेक्स
अच्छा
एटलीस्ट 1 week. ऑफर लेटर पहले आता है और उसके बाद स्कॉलरशिप आता है।
अच्छा, ओके ओके, तो उसे मैम 50% का मिला है ऐसा?
यस यस, आई जस्ट सॉ
अच्छा, तो मैम वो हमें कैसे पता चलेगा? हम एक वीक वेट करेंगे तब पता चलेगा?
हाँ, वो मुझे अभी मेरे एंड पे दिखाई दे रहा है। आपको जैसी स्टूडेंट को मेल आएगा या जो भी पोर्टल पे आप देख सकते हो तो आपको पता चल जाएगा। तो ये मैं प्रेजेंटेशन भी शेयर कर देती हूँ एंड वो एजेंट पोर्टल के डिटेल्स
हाँ
फिर।
पार्थ, एक काम करो ना, इमीडिएटली अपना ग्रुप बना दो मैम के साथ, तो वो प्रेजेंटेशन भी हम ये कर पाएंगे। मैम पोर्टल डिटेल्स भी आप भले दे दीजिएगा हमें, राइट, तो हम कर लेते हैं आगे। या
ओके, एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
नहीं मैम, नो। रुखसाना और कोई क्वेश्चन है? पार्थ तुम लोगों को और कोई क्वेश्चन है?
नहीं, कोई क्वेश्चन
नहीं
ठीक है
मैम।
रुखसाना, इसमें एक और चीज, जैसे इसमें ट्रांसक्रिप्ट अकेली नहीं चलती है, सेमेस्टर बाय सेमेस्टर मार्कशीट चाहिए, और आईएल्स का ऑफिशियल स्कोर रिपोर्टिंग का तो शायद कल ही मेल आ गया है।
यस, दैट इज
अभी
बड़ी
आईएल्स
अभी
ऑफिशियल
रिसेंटली
स्कोर
स्टार्ट किया है,
रिपोर्टिंग,
पहले नहीं
हाँ
था। तो I-20 के लिए जो भी एग्जाम दिया है स्टूडेंट ने, से टॉफल दिया है या जीआरई एप्लीकेशन में था या कोई भी और दूसरा एग्जाम था, तो उसका ऑफिशियल स्कोर रिपोर्टिंग करना पड़ेगा, तभी I-20 मिलेगा।
हाँ, तो ये एक ऑफिशियल स्कोर रिपोर्टिंग का है। और दूसरा, 10 से ज्यादा बैकलॉग नहीं चलती है, और कंप्यूटर और डेटा साइंस में 2 से ज्यादा बैकलॉग नहीं चलती, राइट।
राइट।
ओके मैम, क्लियर
और मैम
मैम।
ये एमबीए प्रोग्राम है अपना, स्टैम है,
हाँ
स्टैम
रुखसाना,
प्रोग्राम।
इनके एमबीए स्टेम है ना,
I'll
वो
ओके,
share
हमने
this
लिस्ट दी।
presentation later on so you can have a look at it.
राइट मैम।
इनके काफी एमबीए स्टेम है रुखसाना।
राइट। काफी सारे हैं इसमें। ओके मैम।
ठीक है मैम, ओके,
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for
थैंक यू।
joining. Bye.
थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू।